Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Yo estoy muy bien. Muchas gracias. Hey, welcome to the next lesson. Are you ready to start actually learning some Spanish words? Here we go. In this lesson, we're going to start with the pronouns. We call them in Spanish pronombres. The pronoun, really the subject pronoun, is the person or thing that does the action in a sentence. I live in Beaumont. The word I is a pronoun. We're going to learn the words I, you, he, she, we, etc. That's what this lesson is all about. That'll give us a foundation to build on so that when we start working with words in the next lesson, we'll have a place to start. So let's get started and we'll work with the pronombres. Excelente. Ahora vamos a aprender pronombres. Ahora vamos a aprender pronombres. Excelente. Let's look at them, por favor, here. In English, we can go through them carefully and look at each of them. English and Spanish, we're going to learn the word in this lesson called yo. You can repeat it now. Say yo. We're going to learn the word in this lesson that is tú. Say it. Tú. We're going to learn the word el. Repeat after me. El. And we're going to learn the word ella. Remember that double L right there is a Y, so it's pronounced ella. If you want to say she, you say ella. Magnifico. Now then flip around here and look. If we want to say we say nosotros. Nosotros. Now of course in Texas, in the South, we say y'all, but there's several ways of saying it. The correct English actually is the word you. The you is singular and the word you is plural. So you all, you can say. But the word in Spanish is vosotros. Repeat after me, vosotros. And the word for they is ellos. Ellos. Now, we're going to also learn in this lesson that there are two ways to say you. There's one called usted here at the bottom, and there's one here in the middle called tú. So we have two ways. Either you can use the tú, or you can use the usted. Both of them will work. And there's also vosotros, and there is ustedes. Now the lesson will explain this as we move along, all right? Now, if you want to follow along again, you can have your book. All of this is just the way you see on the screen in your book. So you can make some notes and just follow along the slides with me. This is a very short lesson. We'll be done in just a few minutes here. Okay, let's look at them, por favor, in English first of all. Yes, we're going to go back and make sure that we understand there's two U's also. You saw that? Here we go. We're going to make us a box like this. And we're going to use this from now on in the Spanish class. It's going to be called mapping the language. In this large box that we have here, you notice that there's two columns. There's the column to the left. That's called the singular column. And there's the column here to the right. That's called the plural column, meaning that in this side we will put names of people like I, you, he, and she, and they're one person. They'll go on this side. We, you all, they, we'll put them on this side. And we have rows. We have three rows here. The first row, the second row, and the third row. That's what we're going to use to help us guide this. So we're going to put people in the boxes. We're going to do it in English first. In the first box, we're going to put I, and that's one person. If we have a bunch of I's, over here on the plural side, we have the word we. The next row is going to be what we call second person. That's the person closest to me. Who's closest? You are. So you will be singular, second row. And then the plural side will be you, but in the South we say y'all. And then the third row are the people furthest away from me. I'm first, you are second, and they way over there, they are third. If they're individuals, it will be he, she, or it. If it's a group, it'll be the word they. Now this is where we're going to put the people. Now we just have to know where everyone goes, and we will not move them ever from now on. We're going to use this as our guide to put these words in these boxes in English, and we're going to put the Spanish right side by side. And also in this lesson, we're going to have to remember that there will be two ways to say you in Spanish. And one of them we're going to put down here in the bottom, and one of them we'll leave here. And on this side, there's two ways to say you or the y'all. One's going to be in the middle, and one's going to be in the bottom. So let's look at the complete map where it's all in Spanish. Here we go. This is in your book. You might want to have it open and look at it. But this is the complete map of the pronouns. We have yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, and ustedes. Say these with me, por favor. I'm going to get out of the screen and you read them right off the board here as I call them out. Here we go. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, and ustedes. Excellent. Now you'll need to continue to practice the pronunciation of these words until you pronounce them perfectly. You can use your audio CD to do this or the little computer CD. But you need to actually memorize these words in the box. So you want to take a piece of paper, you want to draw yourself a big box like this in 2 columns and 3 rows and leave it blank and see if you can fill it in. English and Spanish. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, and ustedes. All right. Let's let Manelli pronounce them for us. I'll get her in here and she will call the words out for us. So let me get out of the picture here and listen to her voice as she reads them to you.
Yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes.
Excellent. Now let me talk about the words here just for a moment. Yo is all by itself. Yo is the word for I. It's in this box. That's the only word that'll ever be in this box. Nosotros is by itself. Tú is by itself. Now, this word right here, vosotros, we're not going to use it. This word is Old Spanish. It's not used in modern Spanish, at least in this hemisphere. You'll find people in España, in Spain, that still use the word vosotros. But people from Mexico and Central America, South America, never use the word vosotros. Instead, they will only use the word ustedes. So if you would like to just to take a pencil and mark through this, you can draw yourself an X right here through this box, eliminate it, and remember that if you want to say y'all or you all, you're going to have to use ustedes, not this one. We'll just eliminate it. I wanted to show it to you so you'd be aware of it, you would know how to pronounce it, and if you ever see it in literature someplace, you'll know what it is. Or if you ever meet someone from some part of the world that actually uses it. But here, 99.9% of all Hispanics who speak Spanish never ever use vosotros. Not in writing, not in speaking. Only ustedes. Now, on the singular side, yes, it is very common for people from Mexico and other parts of the world to use both of these. They use both of them. Tú and the word usted. Tú is generally used, just to explain the difference. Most of the time, the word tú is used when you're referring to, when you're speaking to family and friends. We call it the familiar form. If you're talking to a family member and you're speaking to them in Spanish, most often they will use tú. Or if you have a friend, a good acquaintance, you will speak to that friend saying tú. Hey, ¿cómo estás tú? ¿Y tú? But if it is someone that you do not know well, maybe a co-worker or someone you've never met before, most often the usted is the one that is used. Usted. This is most often called formal speaking, the formal form. The other is the infamiliar or the familiar form. This is whenever you're speaking to people that you don't know real well. And also I found that sometimes usted is used when you're showing respect. Now, if you make a mistake and use one or the other, it's not really that big of a deal, all right? Choose one and you can use it, that'll be fine. I even sometimes hear people who never have met me before say to me in the tu form, ¿Cómo estás tú? How are you? But they use the tu form. This often happens in sales. At a restaurant, a waiter may speak to you using the tu because they want you to feel at home, like your family, like your friends, all right? Salespeople will do the same thing. But usted is very often used when you're in a formal setting, you've got your coat and tie on, you're speaking in a meeting, giving a presentation, or you just meet someone for the first time. It's very acceptable to use usted. So there's two ways to say you, tú, and there is usted. There's only one way to say y'all, and that is ustedes. Remember, we're going to eliminate vosotros altogether. Hey, there's the pronombres. Hey, you need to know these by heart. So why don't you just practice writing them about a half a dozen times, draw yourself a box and fill it in with all these words. Practice saying them and writing them until you know where everyone goes, exactly in the correct spot, how to spell it, and how to pronounce it. From there, we can go right into the next lesson and begin actually working with verbs and creating some simple sentences. ¡Qué bueno! Muchas gracias. We'll see you at the next lesson. Adios. Adios.